Quite interesting you say about the change in music and how it's all been streamed because I seen your Instagram video about what Daniel Ek, the CEO of Spotify, said. I was going to save this to later, but since we're on the topic, what's your opinion on what he said? For those who don't know, he basically said music is free and cheap to make.
Yeah. Well, I replied, I don't even remember what I replied with, but even in my most inexpensive endeavor where I created, produced, mixed, I didn't use a studio because I was on a train trip and created this album there. Even in the, like, what seems to be a low cost product, the computer I had, the headphones I had, the amount of training I've had, and the free internships, just time equals money alone, the education, all my other albums that got me to be able to produce that album. And that album, ironically, was also nominated for a Grammy. So it's like, we're not talking about crap quality here. It still cost me, and then promoting it and all of my website hosts, and like, what are your costs just year over year just to have all this stuff living? I'm like, we're definitely in the high five figures, if no, sorry, high four figures. Like, we're on an inexpensive. So I basically said, like, listen, even on my most inexpensive album, this is like such a false statement. It's not anywhere near true. My time, my schooling, the equipment that I've used, even when I do something 100% myself. So I basically said, you're wrong. And actually, I think Forbes grabbed that quote and was highlighted it a little bit, which was kind of fun. But he got a lot of backlash for that because it's just not true. And we think of making an album as like you go in a studio and you're spending tens of thousands of dollars. And I have friends that hire orchestras and they have backers and things like that. And like you could be pushing six figures for a really, really high end album. And like, then there's my ambient in the box, meaning just not using recording equipment, just using what's in, but the plugins, like, there's never going to be a zero cost for music. Like, even if it was someone that never took a lesson, figured it out themselves, if they're borrowing gear, at some point there is a time, effort, talent, and yeah, sure, transactional gear costs as well. But it's not so black and white.
I actually did a bit of music after uni because I just was trying to figure, the stereotypical I've left uni now, I'm going to figure myself out kind of thing. But I know exactly what you mean. Even with the equipment I was using at the time, it was, well, I'm free.
Yeah.
I think I actually listened to Daniel Ek's episode on Diary of CEO podcast, and I just was thinking, this guy's not engaging. How has he managed to capture the world with music? I probably shot any opportunity of him coming on now, but I'm thinking,
Yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of being in touch with your industry and in touch with the majority of the industry. And like, there's majority of the money makers, but then there's the majority of the people in the industry, and they're not the same. And I think it would be wise for someone in a position like that to be in touch with both, and not just the one that's bringing in the most dollars, the big labels or big artists.